community work in our village. It was early Sunday morning when the loud sound of a wooden kentongan echoed through the village. The rhythmic knocking signaled what everyone already knew: today was the day of Kurja Bhakti, our traditional community work. In our village, this wasn't just about cleaning or fixing things. It was a symbol of unity, a time when everyone, regardless of age or job, came together to take care of our shared space. By a.m., the sun had begun to rise above the misty hills that surrounded the village. The sky was painted in soft shades of gold and orange, and the fresh morning air carried the scent of dew-covered grass and damp earth. One by one, people began gathering at the village hall, carrying hoes, sickles, brooms made of dried coconut leaves, and plastic bags for trash. Old men wore faded shirts and sandals, chatting about the weather and harvest while leaning on their wooden tools. Mothers brought along their younger children, teaching them the values of cooperation from a young age. Teenagers showed up reluctantly at first, but their laughter soon echoed through the streets as they joked and helped one another. Our main goal for the day was to clean the irrigation canal that ran along the rice fields and remove weeds and trash around the village path. We split into groups, one for the canal, another for the road, and a few people in charge of cutting branches that blocked power lines. I joined the team working on the canal. The work was muddy and slow. The canal had collected dry leaves, plastic wrappers, and even some old sandals over the months, but no one complained. As I dug through the muck with a small shovel, my neighbor Pak Ramat beside me said, "Kalau bukan kita yang jaga kampung ini, siapa lagi? If we don't take care of our village, who will?" His words made me pause. Kurja Bhakti wasn't just about cleanliness. It was about ownership. It reminded us that the village didn't belong to the government or some official in a distant city. It belonged to us. Some of the older women brought out trays of warm snacks, fried tempeh, banana fritters, and boiled peanuts for everyone to share. Others served tea in small glasses, poured from big metal kettles. We all sat in the shade for a short break, eating and drinking together. It felt like a celebration more than a chore. As the day went on, the streets looked cleaner. The canal flowed more smoothly. Even the village park looked brighter after the grass was cut and the benches were cleaned. Sweat dripped down our faces, and our hands were covered in dirt, but our hearts were full. There was something incredibly satisfying about building and maintaining something together. By midday, the sun was high and the work was done. We stood together in front of the village office, taking a group photo with our tools still in hand. Laughter filled the air, and for a moment, the village felt like one big family, connected not just by space, but by effort, care, and tradition. That evening, as I walked along the now tidy road, I felt proud, not just of what we had done, but of who we were: people who still believed in helping one another without being paid, who found joy in sweat and shared responsibility. In the city, people talk about community. In the village, we live it. Through every broom swept, every ditch cleaned, every meal shared, and every smile exchanged during Kurja Bhakti. Continuing the spirit of community work in our village the next day. Although the formal Kurja Bhakti had ended, its spirit lingered in the air. Children could be seen playing on the now clear pathways, running barefoot across the neatly swept streets, their laughter echoing from one bamboo house to another. The elderly sat in front of their homes, smiling and waving at neighbors who passed by. The whole village felt lighter, not just cleaner, but more connected. Several villagers, inspired by the success of the weekend cleanup, volunteered to repaint the community meeting hall. The old wooden building had started to peel and fade after years of sun and rain. A few of the younger men climbed onto ladders with buckets of fresh white and green paint, while others mixed cement to patch cracks in the walls. Some of the women brought fabric and reused materials to decorate the interior, hanging new curtains, painting signs, and sweeping out dust from every corner. Even school children contributed, Under the guidance of their teacher, they painted murals on one of the outer walls of the meeting hall, colorful drawings of rice fields, farmers, rivers, buffaloes, and big words in red: Desa Kita, Tanging Jawab Kita, our village, our responsibility. The power of unity. One night later that week, the village had gathered everyone under the banyan tree near the center of the village. An old microphone crackled as he spoke. "My friends," he said, his voice warm and steady, "what we've done in the past few days reminds me that our strength is not in money, not in modern tools, not even in size, it's in our togetherness. When we work together, nothing is too big to fix." People clapped, some nodded, and others just smiled quietly. The flickering light of oil lamps cast soft shadows on their faces. Someone started playing a bamboo flute in the background, and a group of mothers began to hum along. It was more than a clean-up. It became a movement. Lasting impact. A week after the Kurja Bhakti, a family from a neighboring village visited for a wedding celebration. They were surprised. "Your village looks so fresh and peaceful," one of them said. "It feels alive." That comment meant everything. It proved that our effort had rippled outward. Over the following months, we organized small Kurja Bhakti days more frequently. One for cleaning the well, another for planting trees along the main road, another for fixing broken fences and community lamps. Every time, new people joined. People who had been shy or too busy before started showing up with tools, food, or just a willingness to help. The teenagers who once rolled their eyes when asked to sweep now led groups of younger children. The elderly who used to sit and watch now stood and gave advice. One of them, Pak Wardo, who had trouble walking, still insisted on coming out, holding a broom while sitting on a stool, saying, "As long as I can breathe, I want to give something back." A deeper meaning. Kurja Bhakti became more than tradition. It became a way to teach values, to show our children the meaning of responsibility, humility, and unity. It reminded us that even in a world chasing modern conveniences and individual gain, there's still unmatched strength in doing things together. Because in the end, it's not the government or outside organizations that define the soul of a village. It's the people, their hands, their hearts, their time, and their willingness to care. And that, above all else, is what makes a village truly beautiful. Community work in our village. It was early Sunday morning when the loud sound of a wooden kentongan echoed through the village. The rhythmic knocking signaled what everyone already knew.